Good morning to both
morning.
of you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us today. It's quite tricky, the beginning of this conversation, because Steve, you remember everything, and Camre, I'm assuming you remember nothing.
I would say at least 95% of my memory has been taken.
Right.
And so is that childhood? That's right back. That's that's pretty much everything.
Yes.
Right, well, we'll start with Steve then, in that case, because, Steve, you can colour in this particular picture for us. Met, fell in love, proposed 2 years later. Wasn't long after that that Camre became pregnant, and all was going well until there were complications at 34 weeks. Pick up the story from there.
Yeah, it was 7 years ago. First of all, thank you for having us on. It was 7 years ago, and it was around 31 weeks where complications started to arise in her third trimester. Nausea started to set in, and we were trying to control it. So around 33 weeks, her throat began to swell. So we brought her into the hospital, and shortly after, she had a grand mal seizure, and she went eclamptic. So turned out she had undiagnosed preeclampsia, and with that swelling throat and the seizure, she ended up losing oxygen to her brain for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then she suffered a stroke. And it happened, the brain injury, her severe brain injury, just happened to be located right on her memory lobes. So when they pulled the tube out just a few days later, her parents and myself, we noticed something wasn't right. So we're obviously asking questions, and they were uncertain as well, because this is not, we didn't know that she lost her memory. But it was shortly after we had her transferred to another hospital, and we realized that she suffered a severe brain injury, lost all of her memory, and then didn't know that she even gave birth to our son. Didn't know myself, didn't know her parents, didn't know her own self. Everything was wiped away, and that was the beginning of our journey. We had a 4-pound premature baby, and I had to take over the parenting duties every day, rebuild and relearn. And as we sit here today, 7 years later, she's doing tremendously well, and we're extremely blessed. So.
Well, Steve, I was going to ask you about that time in hospital, because obviously she's been taken away, you've got this 4-pound baby that's just been born when you arrive at the hospital, because you didn't realise, no one realised the seriousness of the situation, because Camre was saying she was fine. You'd gone to work when you got the call to find out that she'd had the baby. So when you arrived at this hospital, you must have felt very torn between the two people, and just your whole life turned upside down suddenly.
Oh, yeah, it was unimaginable. It's still hard for me to go back and think about. So, yeah, it was the greatest moment of our lives, but yeah, at the same time, the most tragic moment of our lives. So the woman you love is in the ICU. She has no clue who you are, but yet you have this beautiful little baby that she just gave birth to, and you're so in love. And I just, as a parent, every parent knows this. When you first lay eyes on your child, your life changes. And for Camre, she wasn't able to do that. It took 30 days, really, for her to hold her own child. And it's just, it's really an unimaginable situation that we hope nobody ever has to find themselves in as well.
You had, with the great help of Camre's parents, looking after Gavin, and you're getting to work. Thankfully, they don't live too far away, so you could drop them off, and then pick them up later on and begin to sort of get some sort of family life together. What about the memory, which initially was a memory of seconds? What has been the progression there?
Well, over the 7 years of time, it started off as seconds. I would, for example, hi, I'm Steve. Within 2 seconds, she would forget my name. She had no idea where she was. So, and then over 7 years, it's turned into minutes and hours. And now, a day, for the most part, it's day to day. But she can kind of go back maybe a few days, and it's just hard to put it in order what day it was. But her memory has improved tremendously. So again, we're extremely blessed that she's able to be a mom now, and be a wife, and have and live a life that she deserves, because she's been through a lot,
So-
and she's an amazing woman.
So, thank you, Steve, because obviously Camre's quite happy for you to have coloured in that part of it. For you, Camre, now,
Well, it's true.
how is life? How do you feel?
Obviously hurts with what happened, but you just try to focus on the positive and what I do have, which is a wonderful family, home, and just concentrate on that and keep going forward.
And what really helps you, Camre, as well, because although your memory has improved, it still isn't what it was. Steve, you've written this book, haven't you? And this is But I Know I Love You. And in this is your story, really, or sort of filling in all those memories that aren't there. How useful is it for you to reread this?
I have now read it, I believe, 2 or 3 times. It's such mixed feelings. I read it and it's very surprising because I have no idea that I've done those, but I am so thankful and appreciative that my husband took his time to do something like this, and I will always be able to look at that and hold on to.
How is Gavin? Because Gavin's 7 now, so he is fully aware of Mum's condition and how she's working with it.
He's doing awesome. He is a very strong little boy, and all he does is keep all of us moving forward.
Yeah, we're very lucky. He's a great kid.
Yes.
We just love him so much.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Well, I hope that over time you do manage to get back more, and that your memory lasts a little bit longer for you. Thank you so much, both of you, for talking to us
Really appreciate
today.
it.
And good luck with the book.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Camre. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.